So, the Trump-Putin Alaska summit just happened. And let me tell you, if you're MAGA, you might want to look away. Because what went down wasn't just embarrassing, it was catastrophic. Not in the man on the moon kind of history, but in the holy hell. Did we really put this guy in the White House again? Kind of history.
So now that Putin has finished cucking Trump on the world stage, I have a couple of questions for MAGA. How are you going to spin this? Because even Fox News couldn't spin this. Even Bret Baier, who Trump brought himself to this meeting, couldn't spin it. Let's start off. First of all, we laid out a literal, physical red carpet for a mass murderer. Second of all, they had a closed-door meeting where me and you, we don't get to hear a word about what happened. Third of all, when they came out for their press conference, where nobody got to ask a question to a single dictator, they let Putin speak first on U.S. soil, causing all the reporters to scramble to put in their earpieces, because in what world do you come to U.S. soil and you get to speak first? Only in the world where we have the fat fascist in charge.
It proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that Donald J. Trump isn't the master dealmaker he sold himself as. He's not even an apprentice. He's the worst negotiator in U.S. history. And the fallout? The whole country is buzzing.
And then he goes on this long tirade about how NATO needs to not interfere and Ukraine better not put any problems in the way. Dude, you voted for the worst negotiator in American history. Donnie Boy finally gets to speak, and he's got no energy. He's white as a ghost, and he goes, we didn't make a deal, but we did make some progress, and then cancels the lunch with Putin, puts his tail between his legs, and flies back to D.C. No phone call to Zelensky, no concessions, no peace talks, only opening up the Bering Strait to trade with the Russian horde. And you fuckers are still gonna support him. You will always support him, and you question why we make fun of you? You're incapable of thinking for yourself.
Trump has spent decades branding himself as the alpha negotiator. He wrote The Art of the Deal. He bragged endlessly about twisting arms, charming enemies, and making beautiful deals. His base swallowed that image whole. Slogans, red hats, and all. But in Alaska, that myth collapsed in real time. The man who loves calling himself a deal breaker got broken. And the humiliation? Immortalized in unforgiving 4K, replayed on every platform from CNN to TikTok.
I just got out of the literal ocean, and I cannot even wait to shower and go home to tell you this shit. I'm so dead ass, you can still see the line from where my mask was. At that meeting, American soldiers got down on their hands and knees and rolled out a red carpet for Putin to walk on as he deplaned the official Russian aircraft. What the about this is America first. I need someone to explain to me like I'm a baby. That man is a wanted war criminal and should have been arrested the second he stepped foot in our country. And instead, American soldiers got down on their hands and knees and rolled out a red carpet for him. That is so beyond disrespectful. That is so beyond, like, what a slap in the face. Meeting had no press, and we were pretty much only told that they were discussing progress on the war in Ukraine, and no deal had been made. So all of this was for what? For what? Were they just having a little bromance chitty chat? I think so. That is Donald's boyfriend. That is Donald's boyfriend. Telling you guys. There's something homosexual happening here.
And Americans who never drank the Kool-Aid, they are living for this moment. Social media is a roast session on steroids. You've got nurses on night shifts, construction workers on lunch break, college kids between classes, even your Aunt Linda in Ohio. Everybody is dunking on MAGA for ever believing this man could negotiate his way out of a parking ticket. Memes are dropping faster than Trump's lawsuits get dismissed. One viral post nailed it. Trump negotiating with Putin is like sending a toddler to buy a car. Except the toddler would probably score a lollipop out of pity. Brutal doesn't even cover it. Let's be clear about what happened. Putin walked in calm, calculated, and ready. Trump walked in with the same tired one-liners he's been recycling since 2016. Instead of making demands, he made excuses. Instead of standing firm, he leaned back, smiled, and basically nodded along as Putin played him like a fiddle. And while MAGA media outlets scrambled to spin it as strategic genius, regular Americans could see it for what it was: their president folding faster than a cheap lawn chair.
So Trump went out of his way to fly all the way to Alaska to meet with Putin, rolled out the red carpet, had military personnel roll out the red carpet for Putin, stands there clapping, waiting for him to come out of that plane, come down the stairs to greet him, so that they can talk about peace agreements in Ukraine without even bringing Zelensky into the equation. How many of you raise your hand if you knew that Putin wasn't going to give in to a beta derp like Trump? Even though Putin is short, he used to be a KGB agent. And Putin is considered an alpha male compared to Trump. So all of this taxpayer dollars spent for Trump to go to Alaska, for there to be no deal. This shouldn't even be considered breaking news.
Commentators are saying Trump gave away more leverage in one summit than America has lost in decades. Late-night comedians are carving him up like Thanksgiving turkey. One joked, Putin didn't even need to flex this time. Trump just handed him the win gift wrapped with a bow. Another pointed out the dark irony. Trump mocked Obama, Clinton, and Biden as weak negotiators. Yet here he was, practically gift-bagging Putin a propaganda victory while smiling for the cameras. For ordinary Americans, this is more than funny. It's cathartic. They've been screaming for years that Trump was a salesman, not a statesman. And this summit? It's the teachable moment of the decade. People are pointing at MAGA and saying, this is what happens when you buy branding over substance, when you confuse a catchphrase for a policy, when you mistake empty bravado for real strength. MAGA diehards, of course, are still mumbling about 5D chess. But let's be honest. If this was chess, Trump showed up with checker pieces and ate half of them before the game began. Here's why it stings so deeply. America has always prided itself on toughness at the table with adversaries. Presidents are supposed to project strength. Even when you disagreed with their policies, you knew they'd stand firm. Watching Trump stumble, bend, and basically roll out the red carpet for Putin is humiliating for the nation. But for those who saw this train wreck coming years ago, it's hilarious in a bitter, told-you-so kind of way. And now MAGA voters are stuck with the hangover. They backed a man who promised endless winning, who said we'd be sick of winning. Instead, they just watched him flush America's dignity on live TV. Sane Americans are laughing, yes, but they're also pointing to the hard truth. This is the price of mistaking loyalty to a personality for loyalty to the country. So now the question, is this the wake-up call MAGA finally needed, or will they keep pretending the emperor's golden golf suit isn't see-through? Because right now, the only deals Trump seems capable of making are with his fan base's never-ending supply of excuses. Either way, the reactions aren't slowing down. They're relentless, and honestly, they're the only thing keeping the rest of the country sane after watching a U.S. president get rolled by a smirking ex-KGB operator. So, what do you think? Was this the moment MAGA voters finally realized they got conned by the greatest snake oil salesman of the 21st century? Or are they just going to keep doubling down, no matter how many times their deal breaker gets broken?
Welcome back. So in this video, we took a look at the Trump-Putin summit, which happened in Alaska in the United States of America. So the meeting was to discuss the Russia-Ukraine war. So the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, flew all the way from Russia in order to meet the president of the United States of America, President Donald J. Trump, in Alaska in order for them to make negotiations and then arrive at a decision or a consensus in Alaska. So this war that happened between Russia and Ukraine has lasted for some years now. I believe during the campaign period for the US presidency, Donald Trump promised that when he assumes office just within the first week, he will be able to bring an end to the Russia-Ukraine war. And I don't know, this is the 8th month of the President of the United States. I don't know if he has been able to bring any peace negotiations to a final conclusion. I believe this is one of the steps towards getting that peace that we all need in this world between Russia and then Ukraine. So he said he was going to bring peace in 1 week. It's been 8 months now, and he's now been able to publicly meet the president of Russia in order for them to discuss this. So they met in Alaska in the United States of America, and then Donald Trump, who touts himself as the master negotiator, met the president of Russia, which we were all hopeful that he was going to exhibit his negotiation skills so that in the end, this Russia-Ukraine war will be able to come to an end. But after they went for a closed-door meeting, no concrete solutions or resolutions were arrived at. Both parties left the meeting without any concrete decision that was made over there. Now, it was also reported that Donald Trump cancelled the, I think, is it dinner or a lunch that he had to have with the president of Russia, and then he flew back to Washington, D.C. after no concrete resolutions were made at the meeting. Let me know what you also think about all these. People count it as a disgrace to the United States of America, but do you think that this is a feather in the cap of Donald Trump? Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. And don't forget to share this video with your friends and your family on other social media platforms like WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and other social media platforms. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Just click the subscribe button down here. Click on the subscribe button. Click as well on the notification bell. And I'd like to see you again in my next video.